So, to pay Tua or not to pay him? That is the question of the day, question of the offseason for the Miami Dolphins. Before I get into why I think they shouldn't pay Tua, let me know what y'all think because this is definitely one of the most interesting topics right now going on in the offseason, and I don't think this is going to end anytime soon, so it's going to be an ongoing debate, which I find is a pretty fun one. I feel like the majority of people are definitely on one side, but I'm really curious to hear about the other side because I really want to be sold on why the Dolphins should pay Tua. So, let me know in the comments. Sway me, win me over. I'm all ears. So recently, Mike McDaniel has been interviewed and he was asked about Tua and the current off-season activities. Supposedly, quote, he has been here for off-season activities and he has not been here for off-season activities. So he's more or less holding out to a certain extent. Will he hold out of training camp? That is definitely a good question. I really don't know. I really don't know. And I think it's going to be a really big topic because I don't think Tua can really afford to miss any time. He needs the extra reps. He needs to improve. He needs to get better because I just don't think he's a top tier quarterback. If anybody feels very differently about that statement, please let me know why you think he's a top tier quarterback, but I just think Tua can't afford to hold out in training camp. Even if, that's obviously a tactic to kind of pressure the organization to pulling the trigger on a deal, but man, that is just risky. I just think he needs to. He had a good year last year, but I think he needs to build off last year, and he needs to keep going, man. He needs to keep going. He can't plateau now. He can't take any steps backwards now because I've mentioned this before, but if he gets another concussion, if he gets hurt again, even before his three concussions 2 years ago, he was hurt in college, right? So he already has a serious injury history even before his 3 concussion year. So if he gets hurt again, man, like how can anyone really pay him that big time money? Sure, he could probably get like a Baker Mayfield type contract somewhere, potentially, but I don't know. It's just such a critical time for the future of Tua and the future of the Dolphins. Dolphins have a decent roster. I don't know how their defense is going to be without Vic Fangio this year, but man, if you pay him, you're just trapped there. You're just trapped. I really wanted the Dolphins to get Michael Penix. I think he would have worked beautifully on this offense. Seriously, like just imagine his arm with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle and company with an elite run game. It would have been beautiful, but it didn't turn out that way. It sucks, and the Dolphins don't really have a quarterback waiting behind him except for Mike White. But yeah, man, I don't think he could hold out in a training camp. He might do a hold in. I feel like that's more kind of like a likely scenario. That's kind of what Justin Herbert did a while ago, where I believe he didn't train. He didn't suit up for the first couple weeks of training camp, but he was there, mental reps with his teammates, coaches, and whatnot. He just didn't want to risk getting hurt without getting his bag, so I feel like Tua's probably going to do that, so I don't know. It's not a great situation if you're a Dolphins fan. It's kind of scary because, again, I don't really know how you could pay him. I mean, look at the Broncos and Russell Wilson. They're getting absolutely cooked this year. I don't know what their cap situation is going to be next year, but, dead cap money cap space, it can bite you in the ass if you give out stupid contracts. And I just don't know about Tua getting paid, man. I mean, if the Cowboys aren't willing to pay Dak Prescott, why would Tua get paid? If it were me, who would you rather have, Dak Prescott or Tua? I could see a debate for both, but I would go with Dak as of right now. But I don't know. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't pay either. So, but yeah, man, Dolphins fans, how are we feeling about this upcoming year? You think you could win the AFC East this year? Another playoff appearance? Let me know. I'm curious what y'all think. Like I said earlier, I don't know how the Dolphins defense is going to be without Vic Fangio. If I had to guess, I would say it would be a little bit worse. I mean, you can say what you want about Vic Fangio. He's an old school coach, might not be a great person, blah, 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 but he can coach defenses. I mean, to go back when he was a defensive coordinator for the Niners and then the Bears right afterwards, he was coaching those fools up pretty well, and he can coach defenses. As a head coach, no. You know, he coached the Broncos for a few years, pretty disastrous tenure, but he knows defenses, and he's a pretty elite defensive coordinator, so that's definitely a big loss. Offensively, I still think they're going to have a strong run game as long as you have Mike McDaniel, as long as you have Raheem Mostert, Achane. You know, they just drafted that other guy. I think they're going to be in good hands on the run game. The passing game, I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe last year was an outlier year for Tua's health. I want to see Tua succeed. I want to see him progress because it's a fun offense to watch, man. I mean, who doesn't enjoy watching the Miami Dolphins just going all out with their just exciting offense with Tyreek, that elite run game? You know, maybe you'll get flashes of prime OBJ this year. You know, that'd be kind of fun. I'm down to watch that, but we'll see. Obviously, they had the theory of they couldn't beat good teams last year. We'll see if that's true again this year. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. I still think the Bills are probably the kings of the AFC East until further notice, but let me know if you think the Dolphins can take over. Will they win a playoff game this year? Will they be competitive in a playoff game this year? Is a better question. But yeah, that's all I got for right now. Peace.